Good evening and welcome into Ashe County High School for another edition of Friday Night Football. Should be in for an exciting matchup here tonight. Second round of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association 2AA playoffs between the third seed and host Ashe County Huskies and the visiting number 6 seed Monroe Redhawks. I'm Tyler Ashe alongside Nathan Ham, proud to bring you the action here on Sky Zone Sports. Nate, we should be in for a great matchup here as we await the results here of the coin toss. But should be in for an exciting matchup between these two squads.
Yeah, glad to be here, Tyler, for the second week in a row facing a fairly athletic team. This team, unfortunately, also has some size to go with their athletic ability. Will be a tough matchup for Ashe tonight, but our passing game's been tough for everyone this year, so we'll see what Monroe has in store for us.
And hopefully the receiving trend of the opening kickoff will result in another win for Ashe County. This will be the third week in a row that we'll see the Huskies start out the football game on offense. We know that's what they have to capitalize on in this game, Nate.
Yeah, we've got to be able to score, move the football, and at the same time keep that Monroe's dangerous offense off the field. They've put up points in practically every game this year. Ashe is going to have to pretty much run step for step with them if they want to stay in the game.
So the Ashe County Huskies, here they come onto the field. Crowd's getting loud here at Ashe County High School in West Jefferson, North Carolina. A much anticipated second round matchup. Unfamiliar territory for Ashe County football fans. Been 7 years since the Huskies have advanced to the second round of the playoffs, and Nate, looks like they're turned out here tonight ready to cheer on these Ashe County Huskies.
Yeah, absolutely. We would love to see another historical moment tonight. Of course, we've never advanced past this stage. Just would be something great for this team to add to its already distinguished list of accomplishments.
Yeah, we talk about it, especially Coach Hampton has about a season of firsts. First time we've had a team win 10 games. First time Ashe County High School has defeated Watauga at Watauga. 2 big firsts there. And also last week in those games, Mason McNeil goes over 1,000 receiving yards. Also, according to stats there, that's the first time ever in Ashe County High School as we see the Redhawks take the field.
Yeah, just a lot of tremendous individual and team accolades this season. And we hope it doesn't end tonight. We would love to keep right on marching and maybe get a little bit of help in our side of the bracket, maybe get another home game next week too.
So we're getting ready for action again. Ashe County will be receiving the opening kickoff. Monroe won the toss, deferred to the second half, so right away we'll get to see what this Ashe County offense can do. We know they can put up points in bunches, led by senior quarterback Connor Bowers. Nate, he leads the state in passing yards.
Yeah, just a tremendous senior season for our quarterback. And what can you say when you lead an entire state in passing offense? Not much more to say. Just a tremendous year, and it's just been a pleasure watching him play all season long.
We saw the Huskies go up against an athletic squad from off the mountain last week. Came away with a big victory over Maiden, 34-27. In conditions where at kickoff it was 18 degrees, we're double that tonight. Nate, game time opening kickoff kick, 36.
And it feels like Florida out here compared to last week.
So here we are lined up to boot this one off for the Redhawks. Number 75, Niquan Haley, and it's a low squib kick. We fielded about the 25-yard line. Bradley Lucas wrapped up immediately, still trying to fight forward, but nowhere to go. He's going to be stood up. No gain on that return.
And as you said, we'll get to see Connor Bowers out here right off the bat to lead this Husky offense. And I tell you what, it'd be a great start if we could put some points up right off of our opening drive, kind of smack Monroe in the mouth a little bit.
Yeah, I would love to see the Huskies show up here on this first offensive possession. As we see there on screen, Connor Bowers tossed 39 touchdowns. That's it, Nate. Only 10 interceptions. And he does a great job of signaling this Ashe County offense right away, dropping back, feeling the heat, though. He's going to step up, throws on the run, finds Carter Calhoun on the dump down pass, and he's out across the 40-yard line. Not bad, all things considered, on that play.
Yeah, good safe throw. Connor feeling the heat, as you said, from that defensive pass rush, and picked up a good solid 4 to 5 yards right there.
Right away we can see the athleticism of that Monroe team. Looks like they were sending about everybody after Bowers on that play.
And they know they have to get pressure on him. They can't let Connor sit back and just pick that secondary apart.
call it a gain of 5, their own 35-yard line. Bowers in the gun, feeling the heat again. Can he get away? Throws it off his back foot, and he is hit, takes a hard hit there toward the end. Brought on by number 73, Nicholas Ashcraft. He's a big guy out there, 6'4", 235.
Yeah, you'll see Monroe has a lot of big, strong athletes out there. Our offensive line's really going to have to step up and give Connor time to throw the football.
And worth noting here for the Huskies as they face a quick 3rd and 5, noticeably absent on the offensive side of the ball. That's right, you're not going to see a number 1 or number 80 tonight, unfortunately, for the Huskies at the wideout positions. More on that in just a second. 3rd and 5, 4 wide, trips to the left. Bowers dropping back, feeling the heat, and he is hit as he throws, and the pass is intercepted. And taking it back the other way, Ashcraft, he's at the 20, the 15, the 10. Nobody's going to catch him. He waltzes into the end zone. And talk about a momentum changer here right at the beginning of the game.
Definitely not the start you wanted for the Huskies. Tremendous defensive play. Not sure what Connor was looking at right there, just trying to throw the ball away. But unfortunately, the big man right there, the pick 6, puts Monroe on the board.
My goodness. Talk about Bowers' accuracy throughout the season. He did struggle a little bit last year with the wind, or last week, I should say, with the windy conditions, but that's already twice. We've seen him throwing off his back foot across the middle into coverage, and that time he does not get away with it. He got away, escaped the first time, and got burned there with the pick 6. And what a play by Ashcraft. He delivered a big blow to Bowers just a minute ago that time, and comes up with the interception, takes it back for a touchdown. I believe that was, from about 35 yards out.
Yeah, that's a big, long, lumbering run there for the big man, but able to get into the end zone. And who knows, that may be the first touchdown he scored since Pee Wee League.
So now lining up for a 2-point conversion. We see Zephania Wall rolling out to the right side, throw into the end zone, and the 2-point conversion is good. Tack on a couple more. Monroe, a quick shot to the Husky mouth, 8-0 here less than a minute into this ball game.
Ash really needs to come out on this next drive and answer, at least move the football, show Monroe that they can put up some yards on that defense, preferably get into the end zone and tie this thing up.
Talking about the offensive weapons that Monroe has, still haven't seen them on the field yet, as this high-powered offense is set on the sidelines, and watch their defense put up 8 quick points after the 2-point conversion, 11:03 mark. Boy, I tell you what, that may just set the tone for this game already, Nate.
Yeah, it's tough for the Huskies to stomach early on, but Coach Hampton's preached it all year. This team's full of heart, full of desire out there. They definitely won't roll over. Hopefully we can pick up some yards here and put Monroe on its heels for a change.
Jaquan Haley on to boot this one away again. He's a big guy for a kicker, defensive and offensive lineman, 6'1", 279. You don't see too many kickers with that sort of size, especially in high school football, as he just sends another low kick. Huskies having some trouble getting to it. Who comes up with the ball? It appears Ashe County has it, and they do. Averting disaster there. Boy, that would have really been a tough pill to swallow.
And nervous start for the Huskies tonight. Hopefully gets these butterflies out of the stomach here. Just a tough offensive possession to start there on special teams, almost another big-time disaster.
As we talk about it, how will the Huskies respond to adversity? They've faced it a bit here the last 3 weeks. Unfamiliar territory, but last 2, they've looked pretty darn good against Elkin and against Maiden. This time, Bowers, all kinds of time to throw, and an athletic move on defense, and that one is Pitt coming back the other way. Donovan Black, 10-5, touchdown Monroe. That was actually number 6, Desmond Robinson, and he's one to watch on that defensive side of the ball. Regardless, Nate, there's a reason this kid had 21 pass deflections and 7 interceptions on the season.
I tell you, that's one of the most tremendous athletic plays you'll see at any level of high school football. Wow, what a start for the Red Hawks. Oh, man, we're about speechless up here. I'm sure the fans, they don't really know what to do right now. Monroe looking like they're going to line up, go for 2 again. Ash just absolutely punched in the face early on, down 14-zip in just over a minute.
So now coming on again for the 2-point conversion, this time lining up in a shotgun set. Zephania Wall takes the snap, rolling out to the right side, and crosses it to the end zone. Did he make the catch? No. Thrown just a little short, but regardless, we've yet to see this Monroe offense even take the field, and they have 14 points, and Nate, we're just over a minute into the ball game.
Yeah, it's if you could ask for a much worse start than this for the Huskies, I don't know what you would think would happen, but tough early on. Monroe showing off that athleticism, and right there, just a tremendous play from Robinson. Ashe in a big hole early on.
What is that, Murphy's Law? Everything that can go wrong will go wrong. So far into effect here for the Ashe County Huskies. Haven't been able to do anything right. They did complete one pass on offense, nearly let the squib kick be recovered by Monroe, and 2 quick pick sixes into this ball game. Just a minute 8 off the clock. 14 points for Monroe. 1 2-point conversion was successful, 1 was not. And that is where we stand already. You are not seeing misprint there on that screen, unfortunately, for the Huskies. 14-0 on the Miller Insurance scoreboard. So a busy kicking day already continues for Haley as he backs up to kick this one again. The Huskies look a little more prepared this time, it looks like. The stand-up guys here standing around the 35, 40-yard line. And here's a low kick, will be fielded by Lucas, about his own 38, finding some room along that left side, and some solid starting field position here for the Ashe County Huskies. They'll take over from their own 46.
Ashe really needs to put a drive together, maybe run the football here, help Connor out a little bit. He's probably a little shaken back there in the backfield. Maybe try some read option, something a little bit different than just a straight-up drop back. Twice in a row, those passes have found the opponent's hand instead of the Huskies.
As we talked about, the injury bug has plagued the Huskies. They're without 2 of their top receivers from the season. Jacob Blevins and Colin Ellis both out tonight. And there is the run from Sullivan, bottled up, and does manage to fight his way forward. And lucky to get maybe a yard on that play. That's going to bring up 2nd down at 9. I'll tell you what, Monroe looking great on defense.
So far, it's just been an absolute punch in the mouth from the Redhawks on D. Ashe would love to see him at least get a first down here. Maybe put a little pressure on Monroe.
Yeah, we were thinking coming into this game, the offense could put up some points and some drives here, keep things interesting at least, but so far we haven't seen anything. Play action now, and Bowers nowhere to go, dances out of trouble, and he is just manhandled by a pair of Redhawks in that backfield. These guys are fired up and ready to play ball. That time again, Nick Ashcraft getting in there along with, see who was that joining him there? Number 40, I believe, Nate?
I couldn't tell. It happened so quick. I wasn't ready for that myself.
Just the speed off the ends from this Monroe defense is unbelievable. And there we're going to see a 3rd and 15. 4 wide set. Bowers joined by Sullivan, feeling all kinds of trouble again. Fires this one across the middle and defended almost to perfection that time by Melvin Bonilla, the junior. Defensive back swats that one away, and an obvious punting situation here for the Huskies at the 9:39 mark.
We'll have to hope Mason McNeil can back them up a little bit. Defense come out here, maybe they can put up some points of their own, but right now Ashe seems a little bit shell-shocked.
As you said, McNeil on to punt. Standing back at his own at 26-yard line. Huskies in the home purple tonight. Low snap, has some trouble handling it. Does get one off, a good high kick. That's going to take a bounce just outside the 30 and a kind roll. And then sort of bounces back a bit. Will finally be rolled dead. Touchdown by Helmer Alvarez at the 26-yard line. And finally, we'll see this Monroe offense going to step onto the field, led by a sophomore at quarterback, and he did not start out the season at the signal caller position. Number 7, Zephania Wall, 11 touchdown passes, just over 1,000 yards, and also over 550 yards rushing and 10 TDs to go along with that, similar to what we saw last week with Chris Farley in this maiden offense.
Yeah, probably has a little bit more of an arm than Farley had, but as you said, we'll see a whole lot of speed and running the football.
We've seen them, they'll line up in an I formation, also a shotgun spread, which is what we see here. Zephania Wall in the gun, quick swing pass to the outside. They're going to show off their moves here after the catch and moving it up the field, and now to the 50. One defender back. Is he going to catch him? It's Barnes. He's chasing him down now. Stop, side steps, and still on his feet inside the 5. One play is all it takes. Touchdown, courtesy of Richard Blakeney, and already a 3-touchdown lead for these Monroe Redhawks.
Yeah, this is the speed we heard about all week long leading up to this game. Monroe right now just a heck of a football clinic in 3 minutes.
My goodness, 9-10 mark, already 20-0. We knew it was going to be a difficult game here for the Huskies, Nate, but I don't even think anybody could have imagined this.
No, this is definitely not what the Husky faithful had in mind. And, yeah, I mean, we probably don't have the athletes they do, but still, down 20 points in 3 minutes, I don't think anybody saw that coming.
I saw one prediction that did have Monroe as 40-14 favorites, but according to Simmons' rankings, he only had the Redhawks as 11-point favorites. Thought we might be in for an interesting contest here tonight. This time, two-point conversion also snuffed out by Ashe County. At least they can hang their hats on 2 stops out of 3 on two-point conversions, but still, that's very little of a consolation prize when you're down 20-0 less than 3 minutes into the ball game.
Yeah, Ashe is definitely up against it right now. Still a lot of time left, but that could work in your advantage or disadvantage. Monroe's got time to pile on some more points here, or Ashe can turn things around and then crawl back into this one.
We finally saw Zephania Wall. Didn't really get to show off his arm there. Just a quick swing pass to the outside to Richard Blakeney. But 2 solid quarterbacks for these teams. But give it up there to Zephania Wall, just a sophomore leading this offense this year, Nate.
He's definitely got a lot of room to improve, but not shown there on the graphic. Just 4 interceptions this year. Took care of the football. And you like to see that from a sophomore quarterback, making smart plays. And as I said earlier, he's got a lot to build on. And just a tremendous year this season.
Yeah, certainly contrasting styles. Zephania just thrown for a little over 100 yards per game since he moved to quarterback. Connor Bowers averaging over 300 yards a game, very impressively leading the state. So 2 contrasting styles on this offense, but so far Monroe hasn't really needed much on offense. Defense has accounted for 2 touchdowns. There we see Haley Boot, one deep, will be fielded around the 10-yard line. Trying to find some room on this return, slips himself. Trying to get a return back that time was Hunter Barnes, and he's just out across the 20-yard line, marking down at the 24, and we'll see this Husky offense still trying to straighten things out. This is going to be, what, their 3rd or 4th offensive possession.
Yeah, hopefully, Ashe, this time they can put some yards together, but they're going to have to play some smart football, take the easy passes, take some handoffs, and the offensive line really needs to man up and block somebody.
Yeah, that offensive line's definitely going to have to step up for the Huskies. 4 wide set. Barnes this time in the backfield, untouched and nearly getting to him. He doesn't have to. It's been like this all night, just 3 minutes into the ball game. Constant pressure on the quarterback Bowers, that time taking him down, number 25, Isaiah Thomas. And no, he's not a point guard for the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, he's a junior linebacker from Monroe, but I tell you what, you wouldn't know it with that quickness. He might be a point guard. Who knows? We just know he's not suiting up in Detroit.
My goodness, just going untouched are these Red Hawk defenders, and they're flocking to Connor Bowers in the backfield. No room for him to work. 2nd down, and we'll call it about 20 yards to go now. And this time they're going to go to the ground game. Barnes, no room to work whatsoever. He's going to be brought down almost immediately again, courtesy of number 25, Isaiah Thomas, in on that play.
3rd down now coming up for the Huskies.
So now it's going to bring up 3rd down for Ashe County. Still about 20 yards to go. Ball in their own 13-yard line. Already trailing in this one 20-0, just over 4 minutes in. This time, Bowers all alone in the shotgun. Here's Ford coming after him, just throws it off his back foot, and luckily this time there was no one in the vicinity of that one. Tyree Curitan, he could have had that one if he had been a little closer there to the sideline. Again, throwing off his back foot is Bowers, but no blocking up front.
Bowers just has no time to throw the football. We've seen 1 completed pass so far, and even that one he was under duress. So this offensive line really struggling with the Monroe speed.
Hard to do anything if you're Connor Bowers, as that pocket is collapsing time and time again. And we're going to have a quick stoppage of play. And Monroe is actually going to call a timeout here at the 7:50 mark. As we see there, Coach Hampton talking to his players. Nate, what are you trying to say to your guys right now? In a big hole here, and you're going to have to punt it here from your own 13-yard line now.
Yeah, you just got to calm them down a little bit. You know, they're pretty amped up, pretty upset out there the way things have started. But, you know, they're 10-1 for a reason. They've had a tremendous year. You know, you just got to go out there and play some smart football, make some tackles, and please, offensive line, step up, help out our passing game.
A lot of people talk about how it's a different world once you get off the mountain in football, and unfortunately for Ashe, that's looking to be the case here tonight.
It is, as you said, a lot of mountain teams don't get much respect, and unfortunately, games like this can happen. The teams off the mountain come up here and punch us in the face.
So now McNeil, standing from his own 5, will be forced to punt this one away. Again, another low snap, barely gets it off. That's going to be fielded at the own 48-yard line, and looking back the other way and making a nice return. We see on there Donovan Black, number 9, the senior. He also lines up at running back and in the secondary. Boy, he showed some wheels there, gets it all the way down to the 35-yard line of the Ashe County Huskies. And Monroe, they obviously don't need any help, gifted with outstanding field position to start this drive.
Yeah, as you said, Monroe, they don't need the yardage on return games, but they certainly have it there, and they'll start heading towards the Ashe end zone, 35 yards out.
Black's certainly a dangerous weapon for this Monroe offense, and on special teams, as displayed there, he took one back to the house, both as a punt returner and kick returner this year. And we see another spread shotgun set. This time Wall going to keep it himself, dancing there to the outside. And finally, Ashe County doesn't give up a big play on defense. Coming in there, making a big play, number 52, Sean Baker.
And we saw his brother there, Jason, make the early hit from his defensive tackle spot.
It's a gain of about 4. Just over 7 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Less than halfway through. Monroe already on top by 3 scores, 20-0, and with the ball on the Ashe County 31-yard line. 2nd down and 6. Wall, shotgun set, rolling to the right side, fires off his back foot. Pass is complete and brought down just after the first down marker by Mason McNeil, who's in on defense this week for the Huskies, along with Bradley Lucas.
And just a quick score update. Swain taking a page out of the Monroe playbook, scores on its 2nd play from scrimmage, up 7-0 on Avery.
We'll be keeping you updated as best we can on area scores. You also have Starmount in action at Bessemer City. Allegheny at home tonight against West Columbus. And a lot of people were looking forward to that rematch with Elkin, but that did not come to fruition, unfortunately, for the Bunking Elks. So a fresh set of downs now for Monroe. Now we see a tight set here. Ball under center. Here's a handoff, dancing to the outside and finding a little bit of space before it closes in on him by Baker and Bradley Lucas. That time on the carry was Braxton Knott, 5'7" junior for the Red Hawks. Still picks up about 5 yards.
Another score to pass along. Starmount up on Bessemer City, 13-0. 3 minutes left in the first.
So some good showings here early on for one of the remaining Mountain Valley teams. Allegheny, as we mentioned, also in action against West Columbus. And Avery County in a bit of a hole early against Swain, as are the Ashe County Huskies here, trailing 20-0, almost midway through this first period. Wall in the shotgun set, 2nd down and 5, hands this one off, room to work, and cruising into the end zone, Chase Byram. He's dangerous for a reason, Nate, and I'll tell you what, he had all kinds of room up the middle on that play.
Yeah, the leading rusher in that conference, I do believe. Just a big-time gap to run through right there. I think even my slow self could have ran through that hole.
We know he doesn't have great breakaway speed, but he's consistent, if nothing else. Tallied 1,781 yards on the season. And, Nate, how about this stat? 100-yard games in 11 of the 12 contests they were in this year.
Yeah, and that's saying a lot playing in that conference. I believe that conference has, 3 teams still in the playoffs here? That's a very powerful 2A conference.
Wall under center. Tosses this one to Byram on the outside, trying to find his way in. Stopped short of the goal line. They've gone for a 2-point conversion every time, only been successful on 1. But, hey, it doesn't matter whenever you're putting up touchdowns left and right. 26-0, less than halfway through the first quarter. And I don't believe anyone expected this one here tonight.
Monroe definitely showing why they played for a state title last year. Lost some key parts to that team, but right now, just their athletic advantage is just way too superior out there on the field.
I tell you, they came in off of an interesting matchup last week as we take a look there at the Red Hawks schedule for the season. That beatdown they had on T.W. Andrews in the first round was a rematch of the state title game from last year. As we've seen, T.W. Andrews, they're sort of in an interesting state, in a state of flux, I should say. They rotate, it seems, almost yearly from the east to the western bracket.
Yeah, and last year these two teams played for the title. T.W. Andrews, of course, lost pretty much that entire starting lineup and still had a decent season to show for it, but Monroe certainly got some revenge on them in the first round.
So Haley on to boot this one off again. A busy night, already 4 kickoffs. As he's Lined up to beat this one deep, and he does. Low line drive kick going to be fielded at the 10-yard line by Barnes, trying to find some over the middle. Slips again, Nate, and that is the second time we've seen he goes down without even being touched.
I tell you, it's just not Ashe's night so far. You couldn't ask for much worse of a first quarter.
And I tell you, no fault to Hunter Barnes. He's done well in sort of a backup and surprise running back role this season, but it hurts too with Ashe County when you don't have Colin Ellis and Jacob Levins returning those kickoffs.
Oh yeah, we were definitely up against it going into kickoff tonight without those two kids being able to suit up for us.
Now quickly, first down and 10. Bowers feeling the heat, gets this one off in time, and a nice completed pass cutting across the middle there, Mason McNeil. And finally going to be wrestled down. Biggest gain we've seen from the Huskies tonight, up near that first down marker out at the 30. Going to be about a yard shy. We'll call it 2nd down and 1. Finally, Nate, something positive for this Ashe County Huskies offense.
And even then, Connor was under a lot of pressure pretty quick. You'd like to see maybe add in a couple of draw plays here, get those defensive linemen moving upfield.
So after a nice pickup on first down, Sullivan fights forward and out across the first down marker. Finally going to be able to move the chains for the Ashe County Huskies.
Moral victory at this point. Got to be happy with the first down.
Yeah, a welcome sight to say the least, as at least give the chain gang a little bit of work out there when Ashe County's on the field. First down, Huskies out across the 30-yard line. They'll have 1st and 10 from their own 34. Bowers in the gun, 4 wide set, twin receivers to the left and right. Feeling the heat again, quickly fires it, and a pass is caught, and he's going to go all the way to the end zone. Kiss it goodbye, Mason McNeil, 10-5, touchdown Huskies.
And the answer we had to have at some point in this quarter, right there, 67-yard strike. McNeil got wide open, Bowers finds him, and how about that, Ashe on the board.
Well, the Huskies haven't looked good at all until that play, Nate, but welcome back the air raid offense.
Finally gave Bauer some time to throw, and that throw spot on the money, and McNeil does the rest. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, you're fine. As I say, that ball hawking defense stepped up a little bit too much there. McNeil with his speed able to get over the top and cruises into the end zone, as you said, 67 plays unofficially as we see Kendall Richardson on to kick the extra point, and a botched snap. Now he's going to try to fire off his back foot. Completed here, and another throw forward, but that's going to be illegal anyway. McNeil had nowhere to go, brought down. So Ashe County does get the touchdown, but unsuccessful on the PAT. So here at the 5:03 mark, we stand now 26-6, and we'll be back here with more Friday night football action from Ashe County High School here on Sky Zone Sports on Sky Zone HD Channel 1.
When it comes to insuring your home, business, automobiles, and property, you want an agency you can depend on. Miller Insurance has been serving this region for more than 60 years and are proud to now represent Everett Cash Mutual, which specializes in insuring farm property, equipment, livestock, and more. Before you renew your insurance policies, give us a call at 336-246-7151 or come see us in downtown West Jefferson. Miller Insurance is proud to be your hometown insurance agency that supports our hometown teams.
And we'll come back into Ashe County High School for more Friday Night Football State Playoff Edition. Second round of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association playoffs between the 3rd seed Ashe County Huskies and the visiting Monroe Redhawks, number 6 seed. Here in the Western 2AA brackets, 5:03 mark, Nate. Finally something positive for the Ashe County Huskies, a familiar combination. Bowers to Mason McNeil, 67-yard touchdown, but they still find themselves well behind in this game.
Yeah, defense really needs to step up now. What little momentum we were able to get right there, defense needs to keep it. Maybe force a turnover would be nice.
And sort of an onside kick attempt, and we saw them struggle a little bit last week a couple of times on kickoff returns. And there once again was Richard Blakeney making them pay, takes it across midfield, about a 20-yard return. And that gives Monroe again with great field position starting from Ashe County's side of things. From the Husky 48-yard line, it's going to be 1st and 10. We've seen a lot of scoring so far in this ball game. Unfortunately for the Ashe County Huskies, not much in their favor, trailing 26-6. Already 2 defensive touchdowns for Monroe, and then when they've been on offense, they're perfect as well.
Yeah, Monroe just so far finely tuned athletic machines, so to say. Ashe, their defense needs to step up, have a little imprint on this football game.
Ball now on the rollout, being chased down by Chase Baker, throws it deep, pass is caught, around the inside the 20-yard line, and a great leaping catch that time by number 23. That is Jadarius McManus. He is the leading receiver this year for this Red Hawk offense. One play already into red zone territory, deep down there at the 16-yard line. Unofficially, they're about a 32-yard pass. Completion to the leading receiver there, sophomore Jadarius McManus, and his other sophomore mate there at the quarterback position, Zephaniah Wall. First and 10 from the 16, hands this one off. There's Byram. Quick burst of speed up the middle, gets it down there to about the 10-yard line. Well, he's quick out of the gates, Nate.
He is. We talked about a little earlier, maybe not the elusive speed we've seen from some tailbacks, but tremendous vision, great first step, and so far, when he's got the football, he's made some Ashe players miss.
You talk about, he looks like such a disciplined player. I know he is a senior, but great footwork as well, as you mentioned before the game, looking at some highlight reel footage.
Yeah, he's definitely a skilled running back, and I'm sure some colleges certainly taking a look at that. You can't teach speed, quickness, or athleticism. He seems to have a bit of all of it.
There he is again. This time runs into a wall. That defensive line coming up and making a nice play there, led by senior defensive lineman number 77, big Jason Baker.
Big third down here. Ashe would love to get a stop. Obviously, Monroe yet to attempt an extra point, so most certainly 4-down territory. But first comes first, got to get that third down stop.
That's exactly right. It's going to be 3rd down and 5. The Ashe County 12-yard line. Get down there to about the 6.5 mark. Spread set. This time Wall going to keep it himself, dancing here to the edge, and he has it. Touchdown, Redhawks, making it look easy, untouched into the end zone. And that's Zephaniah Wall, the QB. We know he has wheels as well, over 500 rushing yards, and for good reason.
Yeah, obviously great play design there. Went to the wide side of the field. Ashe just could not close out quick enough on the edge.
So now going to attempt, I believe, a 2-point conversion, as you mentioned there just a moment ago. Yet to see them even attempt a PAT, a point and a kick. 32-6, Monroe dominating this game to say the least, and they line up in the I formation for the 2-point conversion. Wall under center. This time going to hand it off. No, play action, going to roll out here and throws it to the back of the end zone, and the 2-point conversion is successful again. Second time we've seen that here tonight. We do have a flag on the field. First penalty marker of the night here at the 3:07 mark in the first period. And that one, I believe, is going to be against the Redhawks.
Yeah, looks like they called a legal motion there. Most likely 2 guys moving at the same time, not getting reset. They'll have to replay the down.
So the Huskies certainly accept the penalty. That will back Monroe up to the Ashe County 7-yard line, and they will reattempt the 2-point conversion, 32-6. Monroe's put the throttle down, hammered it down quick, Nate, and they haven't let up at all.
Yeah, it's just been fun to watch if you're into athletic high school football. Monroe's certainly putting on a show so far.
Similar plays, they just drew up, and there they got it again. So they get it twice. First one doesn't count due to the penalty, and they get it once again, hooking up that time with his receiver, number 10, Eric Heath, also a dominant force on the defensive side of the ball. 34-6, 3:07 to go in the first. We'll be back with more Friday Night Football right after these messages from Miller Insurance.
When it comes to insuring your home, business, automobiles, and property, you want an agency you can depend on. Miller Insurance has been serving this region for more than 60 years and are proud to now represent Everett Cash Mutual, which specializes in insuring farm property, equipment, livestock, and more. Before you renew your insurance policies, give us a call at 336-246-7151 or come see us in downtown West Jefferson. Miller Insurance is proud to be your hometown insurance agency that supports our hometown teams.
Welcome back into Ashe County High School, the site for tonight's edition of Friday Night Football on Sky Zone Sports. Brought to you by Miller Insurance in downtown West Jefferson. Be sure to check out Miller Insurance for all your insurance needs here at the 3:07 mark. Monroe They've taken flight here tonight and grounded the air raid offense of the Huskies 34-6 as the deep kickoff will be fielded again by Hunter Barnes at his own 15-yard line, trying to find some room. At least this time he didn't slip on the return, gets it out across the 20 at the 23-yard line, and we'll see this Husky offense come onto the field and try to duplicate what they did last time. A nice long pass play that we're used to seeing. We've grown accustomed to all season long with this air raid offense. Bowers to McNeil here with just under 3 minutes to go, starting out from the own 23-yard line. 34-6, however, things certainly not in Ashe County's favor so far, Nate.
Yeah, not been our night, to say the least, down 34-6. Early still yet, but back certainly up against the wall.
This time no back set, and Bowers feeling the heat, all kinds of trouble, and unable to get away. And bringing him down, number 10, Eric Heath. We mentioned him just a moment ago. I said he does most of his damage on defense, and that's going to give him another tackle. Tally it now. He has 134 tackles coming into this game, 22 for a loss, 3 sacks and an interception, make it 4 sacks, and another tackle for loss. That guy's a beast from the linebacker position.
Yeah, he is certainly maybe not your prototypical linebacker size, but I tell you what, he goes out there, lays some hits, and uses his quickness.
Yeah, listed at 5'9", 185. This time Bowers thrown off his back foot and just chucked it here to the near sideline. Had to get rid of that one quick, fast, and in a hurry. Got to be quick on the draw in this ball game with the way that defense is going untouched in pursuit of the senior QB. So that's going to bring up 3rd down and 16 after the incomplete pass. Huskies backed up here inside their own 20. 16-yard line. It is 3rd down and 16. 5 wide set. Bowers all alone in the shotgun. Fires this one across the middle. Can't hit him on the slant route. Looking in the direction that time of Evan Owen, but when late flag flies, maybe a bit of a gift there for the Huskies.
See what the refs have here to say. Of course, if they do call pass interference, will be a 1st down.
And indeed that is the call. So the Huskies are granted another 1st down. They could really use that one, Nate.
Yeah, anything at this point to keep Monroe off the field.
So the defensive pass interference call takes it out across the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 Ashe County at their own 31.
Pass interference play called against, or pass interference penalty rather, against Monroe was on 15-yard penalty.
So I'm still waiting on to see what happens here with the chain gang. Maybe some miscommunication. Here's some of the coaches up here hollering lightning. Monroe's looked like a lightning bolt out there on the field, Nate.
Yeah, unfortunately, not been going our way so far.
So no, they're going to say it is still 3rd down. And about 3-4 yards to go for the Huskies. Ball on their own 31-yard line. Again, no back set, 5 wide receivers, trips to the far side of the field. Bowers dropping back, and maybe some early movement as we get a stoppage of play. So we see some more laundry on the field, and it's actually going to be against Monroe. So now 2 straight penalties does garner a 1st down for the Ashe County Huskies.
Monroe really hurting himself on defense on this drive. See if Ashe can take advantage of these penalties. Would be nice to see him copy off that last drive. Maybe another deep pass down the middle of the field. Monroe seems to leave the middle of the field open quite a bit, bringing a safety up towards the line. See if Ashe can take advantage of it.
Here we see in the slot, Mason McNeil, he's coming over to the near side, but yeah, a wheel route going deep, has his man inside the 35, the 30, he's off to the races, 10-5, touchdown Huskies!
Great job there once again. McNeil just too much for this Red Hawk secondary. 2nd straight 60-plus yard touchdown grab.
Still on the short end of the stick on this ball game, but you've got to like what you've seen out of the Husky offense the last 2 drives. This offensive line may be starting to get a little initiative to block a little bit up there in the front for Connor Bowers, giving him just a little bit of time to deliver a pinpoint pass. We said to watch out for McNeil there, and he certainly answered the bill.
Yeah, certainly no defense yet in this game really from either team, other than a couple of interceptions earlier that were big-time plays. But when both offenses have got the ball moving, they've cashed it in.
Now after that, Huskies going for the two-point conversion, and to McNeil, who else? It's good. Tack on 2 more for the Ashe County Huskies, pull within 3 scores, now 34-14. Hey, we're still not out of the first quarter. Don't go anywhere, more football coming up.
When it comes to insuring your home, business, automobiles, and property, you want an agency you can depend on. Miller Insurance has been serving this region for more than 60 years and are proud to now represent Everett Cash Mutual, which specializes in insuring farm property, equipment, livestock, and more. Before you renew your insurance policies, give us a call at 336-246-7151 or come see us in downtown West Jefferson. Miller Insurance is proud to be your hometown insurance agency that supports our hometown teams.
And welcome back into Ashe County High School for another edition of Friday Night Football. I do apologize for some technical difficulties here. Now back to the action, just over a minute to go. 34-14 is the score. Monroe with the advantage, to say the least, up by 20 here. Nate, so far at least the Huskies have put together a couple of scores here the last 2 offensive possessions, which certainly is a welcome sight. But Monroe still fully in control as we do see an injured Husky on the field.
Yeah, hopefully injury here, of course, not too serious, but would like to see the Husky defense try to step up here. The offense certainly into a rhythm now, but if the Ashe defense can't make any stops, it really won't matter how many points the Huskies score at this point. Monroe already out to a 3-score lead.
So we've seen a lot of points put up, a flurry of activity, keeping the scoreboard operator busy here. Corbin Richardson from our Sky Zone studios here tonight. We appreciate you tuning in, but we're going to take a quick commercial break here with the timeout. We'll be back with more Friday Night Football right after these messages.
When it comes to insuring your home, business, automobiles, and property, you want an agency you can depend on. Miller Insurance has been serving this region for more than 60 years and are proud to now represent Everett Cash Mutual, which specializes in insuring farm property, equipment, livestock, and more. Before you renew your insurance policies, give us a call at 336-246-7151 or come see us in downtown West Jefferson. Miller Insurance is proud to be your hometown insurance agency that supports our hometown teams.
And welcome back into Ashe County High School, another edition of Friday Night Football. We do have an injured Husky player on the field. Still not sure exactly who it is that's down right at midfield for the Ashe County Huskies. Monroe with the ball and in cruise control here in the early going, up 34-14 over the Ashe County Huskies. Nate, as we take a look here for Ashe County Huskies coming into this ball game, as you talked about it earlier, no matter the result of this ball game, they put together a very successful season.
Yeah, heck of a season for Ashe. Scored another playoff win this year, only the 2nd time in school history, something to certainly be proud of. And look, well, that might have been Tristan Jones, unfortunately, shaking up on that play, but fortunately he did get up and walk off under his own power. Maybe just got the wind knocked out of him a little bit. But for the Ashe defense, Monroe here, 1st and 10. See if the Huskies, they use that bend and don't break quite a bit, but right now would be a great time to force a turnover.
Man in motion, handoff goes to Byram. Look at him thanking a possibly touchdown-saving tackle. Kenny Reed, shoestring tackle there. We see sort of the quick burst out of the gates. I think he has deceptive speed, does Byram.
Yeah, he really hit that hole hard, and for the Ashe linebackers and defensive line right there, really could not get much of a hand on him. Thankfully, Kenny Reed slid over there and pulled him down. As you said, just, maybe if his shoestrings were a little bit shorter, he might have been gone on that one.
Yeah, tuck those babies in and you're off for the races. For 6, so now a fresh set of downs. Ball spotted on the Ashe County 36-yard line. 1st and 10. Gotta hope there for the Huskies defensive unit. Tristan Jones will be okay, just a sophomore and one of the leading tacklers for this team. Really stepped up in a big way along with other fellow sophomores, Sky Sullivan and Colin Ellis.
Yeah, and you hate to look too far ahead, but he's also going to be relied on, one of the key members on the JV basketball team this year, so hopefully everything will be okay.
This time on the carry, Eric Heath, linebacker who we saw come up with a big play just a few minutes ago, dancing to the outside and finding some positive yards, picks up about 5. As the first quarter comes to a close, all Monroe. They've taken flight here tonight, have the Red Hawks. up 34-14 at the conclusion of the first quarter. Stay tuned in for second quarter action here on Sky Zone Sports right after this.
When it comes to insuring your home, business, automobiles, and property, you want an agency you can depend on. Miller Insurance has been serving this region for more than 60 years and are proud to now represent Everett Cash Mutual, which specializes in insuring farm property, equipment, livestock, and more. Before you renew your insurance policies, give us a call at 336-246-7151 or come see us in downtown West Jefferson. Miller Insurance is proud to be your hometown insurance agency that supports our hometown teams.
And welcome back into Ashe County High School, second round of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association 2 AA playoffs. After the first quarter, an understatement is all Monroe, right, Nate?
It is. The Redhawks just way too much athletic ability right now. Ashe, if they really want to get back in this ballgame, they're going to have to figure something out. But right now, Monroe just too strong on both sides of the football.
Yeah, so far showing off their offensive and defensive play in strong fashion. With the first 3 snaps of the game, and they're already up 14-0, 2 pick sixes, and they've never really looked back, Nate. 34-14 here as we begin quarter number 2.
It was definitely a rough start for Ashe. Monroe really took advantage of getting pressure on the quarterback and a lot of speed on the outside, both offensively and defensively.
So we will resume action here with Monroe in the football on the Ashe County 32-yard line, 2nd down and 5. Man in motion. Wall hands it off, dancing to the middle. And, wow, quickly wrapped up there, and a nice play there by that defensive line of the Ashe County Huskies.
Good job there by the Baker boys getting in there, putting a hit on the ball carrier.
So Byram, no room to work on that play. One of the few strong defensive plays we've seen from the Huskies tonight. No gain. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 5. Ball right on the Ashe County 30-yard line. Monroe working, though, with a 3-score lead, 20 points. We've yet to see them even attempt an extra point, though. 2-point conversion tries on every touchdown. A little bit interesting there. And we have seen that they actually have a female kicker on their roster.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of surprised we haven't at least seen an attempt at an extra point, but obviously feel more comfortable just going for 2.
And here they go on 3rd down and 5. Only need 5, and much more still on his feet inside the 20. Finally going to be brought down as quarterback Zephania Wall. Another strong run from the athletic sophomore.
Looks like Ben Brown there with the tackle.
There we actually see, Nate, a late flag come up. Not sure exactly what the refs saw at the end of that play. Looked like it may have been after the play was over. And it's going to be a dead ball against Monroe, so back them up. So that will negate the big play. Nice pickup there by Zephania Wall. Took it into red zone territory. They're going to get unsportsmanlike conduct against Monroe. Maybe a little jawing taken on after the play was over.
Yeah, it must have been. They will be able to keep that 1st down, but certainly backs them up, takes them well out of the red zone.
So perhaps some help here, where the Ashe County Huskies have yet to stop this Monroe offense. Both times they've had the ball tonight. Hoping that the 3rd time may be a charm. And again, we remind you a couple other teams in action. 3 others to be exact. Allegheny in action tonight against West Columbus. Avery on the road against Swain County, and then Starmount against Bessemer City. All could be entertaining matchups here tonight.
Yeah, lots of parity in those games. Some expecting some close games out of those. Others expecting some blowouts. But for the most part, I think at least a couple of them will be pretty close.
Shotgun spread set. Here is the jet sweep handoff over to the left side, trying to find some room, and a nice tackle, broken thumb and all, from Alex Richardson.
Great effort there from Alex Richardson, playing through pain. Certainly something to inspire this defense.
You said maybe they need some inspiration on the defensive side of the ball. So far tonight, the Huskies have looked lackluster, to say the least. Great effort that time by Richardson. Nice end-to-end speed chasing down Braxton Knotts, the junior wideout. So that's going to bring up 2nd down and about 6 yards to go for the Redhawks. We haven't seen them limited on too many plays here already in this ball game. Some breakaway plays by this offense. And also some very solid plays course, from the defense, as we mentioned before. Shotgun set, 3 wide stack receivers to the left, just going to hand it off up the middle, and look at him go off to the races as Byron inside the 10, 5, and finally going to be brought down, but it takes 3 defenders to do so.
Powerful run there by their senior tailback. Gets all that penalty yardage back and plenty more. Will be 1st and goal for the Red Hawks.
Yeah, we talked about it before. The impressive play of Byram just continues, Nate. Over 1,700 yards coming into this one, and 19 touchdowns in 11 out of 12 games he's rushed for 100-plus yards.
Yeah, he's been a key focal point for this offense, and certainly helps when you have a good, smart, playmaking quarterback, as well as some weapons on the outside. He gets plenty of room to run up the middle, and as we've talked about several times this season, does a great job of hitting that hole hard.
1st and goal now, ball on the 5-yard line, I formation. Handoff here, trying to bounce off tackle. No room to work, though. Maybe gets about a yard before he's brought down by a trio of Husky defenders.
Carry stop by number 33, Brandon Blevins. That'll be a good stop there for the Huskies.
Blevins, Bradley Lucas, and also I believe their big Jason Baker in on that play. So pick up about a yard down at the 4 now, where it will be 2nd and goal. And it would be big. I know you're still down by 3 scores the way Monroe's looked. Very impressive, to say the least. This could be a big stop, though, for the Ashe County Huskies.
Ashe really could use a stop here. Even they wouldn't have good field position, but they could use a stop.
Byram working the outside. Did he get in? No, and I believe we see a flag thrown late on that play, making the tackle on that left side.
Byram on that last carry.
They grabbed a little face mask there, Nate.
Yeah, looks like that might be what the call is. Won't matter too much here this close to the goal line, but we'll wait and see what the official call is from the referee.
So if that is against the Huskies, we'll be half the distance to the goal. And indeed, that is what it's going to be. So the ball's going to be about on the, 6-inch line.
Yeah, it's not a good place for that ball to be against this Monroe offense. They've haven't had much of a tough time putting in the ball in the end zone, especially from this close.
Yeah, they don't need any help, that's for sure. We've seen the big play capabilities of this squad all night. And there is the official signal, so face mask against the Ashe County Huskies. And that takes the ball down to the half-yard line, so it's a game of inches. They only need a few inches to power this one in for a touchdown, and we see them go to the I formation. No surprise here. See if they get the lead back, maybe a carry. No, they're going to go to Byram. He is stuffed short. Nice breakthrough there by the Ashe County defensive line.
Byram on the carry for Monroe. Unable to get into the end zone. Stopped by number 77, Jason
So Jason Baker getting his big hands back in there. Senior lineman making a big defensive play, and now it's 3rd and goal. We know it's going to be 4-down territory, so the Huskies here, 2 chances to try to make a goal line stand. We know this team's certainly capable of doing that, as we've seen evidenced earlier this season against Allegheny.
Yeah, we got some big defensive tackles in there. Hopefully we can get a stuff right here.
I formation again. Wall hands this one off. Byram untouched. Man, just lowers the shoulder, cruises into the end zone. Tack on 6 more for the Red Hawks.
Ashe really deflated on that right there. Could have gotten a stop. Wouldn't have had much good field position, but certainly would have kept the points off the board.
My goodness, the way they looked there on the first 2 plays. Bit of a surprise that Byram doesn't even get touched on his way into the end zone.
Well blocked right there for the Red Hawks. See if they go for 2 here. Maybe try to kick the ball on this one, but looks like they try to go for 2 once again.
And indeed they do. The offense going nowhere. It certainly does help for the Red Hawks to have that big offensive line to run behind. We've talked about it earlier. The size that they have up front is just incredible. Here we see Wall keeping on the 2-point conversion, spins around and twists his way in for 2 more.
Nice little spin move there. Couldn't quite tell who that was. That couldn't bring him down. Might have been Hunter Barnes on the outside, but Wall just showing off that athletic ability. Gets the 2-point play.
Yeah, better be watching his ankles after that play. Nice spin move there from Wall and his way to another Monroe touchdown. Just pouring it on now at this point, 42-14. Red Hawks just right now in cruise control. Now we talked about it there earlier. I believe it was the 3rd play in the ball game, pick 6. Really a shot to the mouth of the Huskies, and they just never recovered ever since.
You're exactly right on that. Just has not been the start that Ashe wanted at all. And it's been all Red Hawks, unfortunately.
We talked about the Huskies without two of their big playmakers. Certainly didn't help the cause here tonight coming into this one without the services again of senior wideout Jacob Blevins and sophomore tailback / wideout Colin Ellis. Suffered a concussion last week, and Blevins plagued by some nerve trouble in his leg all season long. So here we see the kickoff going to be fielded by Barnes right at his own 10-yard line, finding some space up the near sideline across the 30, the 35, trying to shake and bake, but will be forced out of bounds. Nice return there by Barnes.
Yeah, best return we've seen all night from the Huskies. I mean, that'll spark the offense a little bit here in the second quarter.
So great field position here for the Huskies. As you mentioned, Nate, best we've seen tonight. 1st and 10, ball on their own 40-yard line, but on the short end of the stick here, 42-14 deficit. Bowers in the gun, all alone, dropping back, trying to find some room. Pocket collapses. He's going to have to turn and run this one himself, and drugged down by a nice play on the defense there by number 25, Isaiah Thomas. Mentioned his name earlier. No, he is not in the NBA. He is on the football field here tonight and playing some big-time D for the Monroe Redhawks.
And been all over the field from his linebacker position, making tackles downfield, upfield, doesn't really matter. Isaiah Thomas has been in on quite a few of them.
So credit him with a sack. Loss of 6, we'll call it. So brings up 2nd down and 16. Now for the Ashe County Huskies, continuing to be plagued by this Red Hawk defense. And they're only sending 4 guys here. You see pressure once again thrown off his back foot, looking for McNeil. A lot of contact there before the ball was there by Jaquavius Allen against McNeil. As you hear it here, the fans not happy with the call, and McNeil's not either.
Yeah, it looks like the refs maybe talking about it here a little bit, but didn't see a flag thrown. And certainly in the ref's eyes, well, they did throw a flag, but unfortunately it's going to be on Ashe for ineligible man downfield.
My goodness, and McNeil, he can't believe it. He's just shaking his head on that one. I think Coach Hampton is as well on the near sideline as you see him pacing up and down, trying to get an explanation from the referee. And that's going to be against Ashe County. As you said, we wanted the penalty there. Ashe County did, certainly for some pass interference possibly, but it was called ineligible receiver downfield for the Huskies. So that's going to back them up another 5 yards. Third down now, they're going to call it. Now Bauer's going to tuck and run out across the 30 and wheels out of bounds here right at the 35-yard line, applying some nice pressure there. Eric Heath, big linebacker.
Yeah, we've talked about him earlier as well. One of their leaders on defense, certainly their leading tackler by far. And we see some good speed there from their top linebacker.
So now it's going to bring up 4th down. And another obvious punting situation here for the Huskies. 4th down and about 15 to go. McNeil's had a busy night here tonight, Nate. We've seen him on offense catch 2 great touchdown passes, but he's been punting that ball certainly more than the Huskies would have hoped for.
Yeah, I'd say Coach Hampton would be a lot more happier if he was a lot more busy catching passes than, as you said here, waiting for a snap for a punt.
And the referee's having a discussion. And we hear the fans here yelling 3rd down. Nate, I guess that would be correct, wouldn't it, with that penalty against the Huskies? I never really saw a signal if Monroe accepted it, though.
I sure didn't either, but maybe bringing the punt team off here, going to bring the offense back in.
And the officials having a discussion. Perhaps talking about where they're going to eat after the ball game here tonight.
Maybe.
And there is the signal, 3rd down. So they lost track there on the downs, as did I. So it's going to be 3rd down and 15. So the Ashe County offense gets another shot at redemption on this drive. Ball on their own 36-yard line. Definitely not the situation you want to be in, and this is what Ashe has faced, uphill battle all night long on offense.
Yeah, it's been uphill, as you say, for practically the entire ball game from the opening snap. Ashe could use a big 3rd down conversion here.
Empty backfield, 5 wide set. Bowers feeling the heat once again. Can he get away? 3 men pursuing him, having to throw off his back foot, and nearly intercepted. He dodged another bullet there. That could have been another pick 6.
Yeah, it looked like might have been Dontavius Covington over there. Couldn't quite tell, but yeah, certainly another back foot throw. Haven't been friendly to Connor tonight at all. That one nearly intercepted.
Trying to force the issue once again. We saw him get away with it once on the first drive. Not so lucky the last 2 times he's thrown across the middle and off his back foot. He gets away with that one there. It's going to fall. An incomplete pass, bring up 4th and 15, and now McNeil drops back to punt this one away, standing on his own 28. Gets off a good kick and will be fielded. Oh, no, some trouble handling it inside the 25. Does able to pick it up and quickly wrapping him up. Ankle tackle. Grabbing the shoestrings there that time. Number 12, I believe, for the Ashe County Huskies, Evan Owen. We've talked about his strong special teams play all season long, and it continues there with the shoestring tackle. Now we'll see this Red Hawk offense onto the field again. They have been red hot so far, and they will begin this drive on their own 23-yard line. The worst field position I believe they've had so far here tonight, so a long field to work with. We'll see if Ashe County can make a stop on defense for the first time here tonight. So your score once again, 42-14. Here in the second period tonight, second round of the 2AA state playoffs, the western side of the bracket. Here on Sky Zone Sports, brought to you by Miller Insurance, proud 2014 sponsor of Husky football here in Ashe County. Now a swing pass to the outside, chance to show off the football moves, and fighting forward and still on his feet, evading tacklers, and picks up a first down.
Nice little play call there for Monroe. Unfortunately for Ashe, a little shifty play there, just could not be snuffed out by the Husky defense.
That was number 5, Richard Blakeney, making a nice catch. Moves it out to the 35 and a fresh set of downs for Monroe. Such an athletic squad. Talk about the talent they have on this team that's state runners-up last year, and they look to have what it takes. It seems to make another deep playoff run again, now going to the ground game, falling ahead Byram, and a nice tackle made there in the backfield. That was Tristan Jones getting his uniform a little dirty there.
Yeah, you hate to go ahead and call somebody a winner, but Monroe's certainly looking like a higher class team tonight, and the bracket shapes up nicely for them as well. Another mountain team next week would be their opponent. And then, of course, if they do win that, it'd be a big-time showdown with either Lincolnton or East Lincoln. Based on the scores I've seen, both are ahead fairly easily tonight.
So we're going to call that a pickup of 5 on that last play. Wall under center, Byram behind him. He's going to get the carry and fighting forward again and evading a couple of tacklers, wiggling out there near the first down marker before he's drugged down from behind. They're going to spot him just a bit shy, so that's going to bring up 3rd down and a short 1 for this Monroe offense.
3rd about a yard or so now for Monroe.
Ashe certainly been tested here the last few weeks of the season. We've talked about it all year long. We knew it would come down there to those final 2 games, most likely, on the road against Star Mountain and Elkin, able to split those. And then last week faced some stiff competition against a young Maiden squad, very athletic, similar to the team we see here tonight. Maybe not quite as polished offensively. Wall keeping it himself and picking up the first down, making it look easy that time.
Yeah, needed just a half a yard there, ended up getting 3 or 4, just way too quick on the edge for the Ashe defense.
I tell you, Nate, Huskies having trouble with these sophomore QBs they're facing these last couple of weeks. Last week against Maiden, Caleb Farley, and tonight, Zephania Wall.
Been unfortunate that the underclassmen have been tough to stop for Ashe. Tonight, though, Monroe's team got a lot more talent around their young sophomore than Maiden did.
Got to thank both of these teams, Monroe and Maiden, speaking of them, both look to be pretty set, at least at the QB position and with some skill positions as well with a young roster. Here's the handoff now. Byram finding some room out to the outside and takes it into Husky territory all the way to the 40-yard line.
See Mason McNeil in there on the tackle as well as Tristan Jones.
Ball up to the 40-yard line in Ashe County territory. 1st and 10 now for Monroe.
And another first down at the Husky 40-yard line. Monroe piecing together another very nice drive. I formation being shown this time. They really have a lot of offensive sets that they go to. And there we see a handoff to the left side this time. Not much doing there for Donovan Black. Going to be brought down by Bradley Lucas, one of the leading tacklers for this Husky team. And he's one who Coach Hampton has talked about all season long. He's been very effective on defense, but Hampton said, you know, if he'd been on offense, he would have been equally as effective as a tight end slot as we saw last season.
Yeah, very good athlete. We'll see him in the upcoming basketball season as well. Just a tremendous guy to have out there, and certainly been a team player. As you said, got a lot of balls thrown his way last year as a tight end, but this year willing to take the lead on defense and be a solid tackler for the Huskies.
Now on the play action, throwing on the run, off his back foot, incomplete, just a bit short. He was looking for Eric Heath. Heath, you talk about him, what an athlete he is, plays linebacker on defense, leading tackler for the team with over 100 tackles. Just an impressive season coming into this one. Once again, 134 unofficially, with 22 for loss, 3 sacks, and an INT. And there we see him getting the ball thrown his way on offense. So really a guy who does it on both ends of the field. Yeah,
certainly, as you said, more well-known for his defense, but right there proving that he can get open there for his quarterback throw. Missed quite a bit, but out there as a weapon for him anyway.
So now 3rd and long. They haven't faced too many of these. Wall dropping back, firing, nowhere near the intended mark. Looking on that far sideline. And he was looking for senior Ramon Sturdivant there, who began the year at the QB position for this Monroe squad.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly happened there for the upperclassman to lose that job. Maybe he just, you know, he may not have wanted it himself. He thought somebody else could do a better job. He wanted to catch some passes and run the ball or something. But either way, Wall's taking this job and had a pretty solid year.
So now Monroe certainly going to keep that offense on the field. 4th and 8 on the Husky 38-yard line. Need to get it down to the 30 to pick up the first. See if the Huskies can make a big 4th down stop. 4 wide set, 2 receivers to the left and right. Wall dropping back, airing it all the way, looking deep toward the end zone, and incomplete, just in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. He had McNeil beat on that route.
Sure did. Wide open there, just lucky for Ashe that he dropped the football.
That was sophomore Jadarius McManus, one of the leading receivers for the Red Hawks this year, and actually was the top man per receptions, 22 catches, 419 yards, only 1 score, so not a big target down in red zone territory, but a big play threat with the Huskies, making a solid showing on that defensive stand, force a turnover on downs after that 4th down incompletion, and now they'll take over on their own 38-yard line where it'll be 1st down and 10. 4 wide set, Bowers dropping back and feeling the heat. He's going to be brought down, sacked again. And that has been the story tonight for this Ashe County offense, unfortunately.
Yeah, that defensive line just way too much for this Ashe County offensive line. Just been able to get pressure, usually with just 4 guys. Haven't even had to blitz anything. It's just been their 4 down linemen.
And they're going to call that one, I believe, about a loss of 10. Makes it 2nd down. We'll call it 20. Backed up to their own 31. And a handoff now to Sullivan. No room to work for the big sophomore. Wrapping him up and standing him up, Dontavius Covington, the big junior linebacker. Now another 3rd and very long for the Huskies. Lost about a yard there to their own 30. 3rd down and 20 to go. 4 wide set again. Play action. Bowers dropping back, has some time. Now going to be flushed out of the pocket. Throws on the back foot and incomplete, just a bit out of reach for senior wideout Worley.
Worley had a step on his man right there, but the throw just a little bit off target.
So unfortunate there for the Huskies. Once again, that pressure getting to Bowers in a hurry. Got to think if he had another maybe 2nd, that could have been an easy completion and a big-time play for the Ashe County offense.
Connor certainly would have had a little bit more time there to set his feet, make a better throw, but Red Hawk defense just not going to let him do that at all.
McNeil on to punt again, short snap, but recovers nicely, gets off a good one. Nice high kick, will be fielded at the 35. Trying to find some room to work off that left side, and still on his feet now to the 45-yard line. Another nice return, courtesy of Donovan Black.
Punt return, bringing the ball up near the 45-yard line.
like Sam Hudler might have been in there on the tackle. Couldn't quite tell from here.
He's a man who's stepped up and had some nice games as well for Ashe County on special teams in particular.
He has another solid underclassman for us. I'm sure we'll see his role expand next season whenever it comes around.
So Monroe will take over in excellent field position yet again. Been the story for them tonight. Of course, they don't really need it. Last time started from their own 23 and took it 77 yards for a TD. This time from their own 46. Four wide shotgun set. Wall stepping up in the pocket, fires a rifle out to the left side. It is caught, and McManus makes up for his drop pass on the previous drive and makes it a nice move after the catch and puts it into Husky territory. Sean Baker bringing him down.
Trying to bring the ball down near the 40-yard line.
Right at the 40-yard line, and a fresh set of downs again for this Red Hawk offense. Monroe again working the shotgun set, spreading it out on offense. 4 men wide. Wall going to air it out again. Plenty of time to throw. Launches a deep pass and just over the head of the intended receiver. Had a little more touch on that one. That's 6 easy points right there for the Red Hawks.
Yeah, second time we've seen Wall overthrow a pass to a wide open receiver.
So after the incompletion, brings it back to the 40-yard line where it'll be second down and 10. Working our way here through this second period. 42-14. It's been all Monroe from the opening gun, and they've never looked back. 2 pick sixes really set the tone early in this ball game. Ashe County's never been able to recover, although they have put together 2 nice plays of their own. 2 60-plus yard scores from Bowers to McNeil. Handoff to the left side and brought down just outside the 35. Byram picks up another nice chunk of yards, makes it a more manageable situation here, gets about half for the first down, and brings up 3rd down and 5.
Sean Baker, Bradley Lucas, I saw over there making the tackle.
Ashe County forced turnover on downs last time. They'll look to duplicate that. As we mentioned earlier, no matter how many times you put the ball in the end zone, facing a deficit like this, you got to be able to stop the other team if you want to make things a little interesting going toward the second half.
Yeah, Ashe has got to figure out a way to get the Monroe offense off the field.
Wall rolling out here on the near side, throwing deep on the run, wide open at the 10, the 5, and another touchdown for the Red Hawks.
Unfortunately, that's one way to get the offense off the field, finding the end zone again.
Jadarius McManus dropped a surefire touchdown pass last time, although it was just a bit overthrown here on the near sideline. That time, nearly an identical play, just sort of a go route for him, and he gets a step on the Husky defense and makes him pay. Takes it in for 6 more now, 48-14. Monroe just pouring it on at this point. See if they choose to kick the extra point, or another 2-point conversion is forthcoming for this Red Hawks squad. Must not have a very good kicking game, Nate. We haven't seen any attempts here tonight.
They must have known that going into the season. They might not have a solid kicker on the roster. Lots of 2-point conversions.
Wall going to go to the corner of the end zone and overthrown. Looking in the way that time of Desmond Robinson, the junior wideout, but no chance for him to reel that one in. So he'll have to settle for 6, but Monroe comfortably ahead here in this ball game, 48-14, as we near the end of the second quarter. Saw these teams put up a lot of points in that first period. Monroe in particular with 34, and they've added 2 more in this second quarter. Just having their way with this Ashe County squad right now.
Unfortunately for Ashe, really up against it here the rest of the way. You never hate to say nothing's impossible here, but Ashe really in trouble against this strong Monroe team.
On to do the kicking again, number 75, Naquan Haley. Talk about his size, Nate. Not too many kickers standing 6'1", 279.
Certainly a big boy back there getting ready to kick this one away.
And he'll look to put his big toe into this one. Line drive kick. Barnes wants no part of it, lets it roll into the end zone. That will be a touchback. And we'll see the Ashe County Huskies come onto the field on offense once again. Still trying to get things sorted out. They're on the wrong end of a 48-14 score just a few minutes before to go to the halftime. On the season, Connor Bowers, such an impressive year here, Nate. 43 touchdown passes because they do. We found out here between the changeover, they are counting all of the stats, which is what keeps him in the lead in the state from that High Brighton game, which we didn't initially have, as we see another pass completion there, just adding to his impressive total on the year to senior wideout Mason McNeil. Junior wideout, excuse me.
Didn't know that either. That's good to hear. That certainly he was playing well in that game before it got called off due to the bad storms that rolled through.
We know the Huskies, they've had a little different attitude. If they'd known that was going to go down as technically a loss in that ball game, they have chose to go back down the mountain and finish that game off.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody really saw that coming, but just how I guess the rule book reads when the playoffs come around, didn't know that either.
And Bowers didn't see that defense coming at him that time. Another sack. They're just racking them up in bunches, making it look easy. As we talked about before, they're not even bringing a real blitz, just 4 men, but these 5 linemen for the Huskies, they can't even contain them.
Yeah, it's just been really a hard time for the Ashe offensive line. They've certainly played well all season long, but tonight sometimes just too much athleticism. It really will make a difference.
I believe we have a timeout here on the field for the Ashe County Huskies. And then, of course, now they're trying to signal there to get this game clock fixed up. Of course, at this point, doesn't really make too big a difference, I don't think, a few seconds off here or there. With the score being the way it is at this point in the ball game, 48-14 once again. The visiting Monroe Redhawks coming in here. Underrated, to say the least, Nate, I think, as a 6th seed.
Yeah, they've certainly shown they're way better than a 6th seed. Lost a little bit from last year's team, but still, as you said earlier, most certainly a title contender this year. Lots of youth, but right now that youth playing very well. They may run into a senior-laden team that might be able to take it to them, but right now they certainly look like one of the better teams in this area.
So after the timeout, 2nd down and 15, Bowers trying to step up and get away. Not going to be sacked, and we also see a penalty marker fly onto the field. Most likely going to be there maybe a hold on the Ashe County offensive line.
I was going to say, may add insult to injury here. They get the sack, but also got one of our linemen here for a hold.
And indeed, that is the call. Will be declined, of course, by Monroe. So they'll take the loss of yards and the loss of down. So back the Huskies up about another 5 or 6 yards. It's going to make it 3rd down. And what's that, Nate? About a country mile, I believe.
At least.
Bowers in the gun, play action. Dropping back, throwing the screen play out there to the far sideline to Sullivan. Not much room to work, though. Going to be forced out of bounds, taking out a few coaches with him.
Yeah, I hate to see people over there on the sidelines not really paying attention there, but looked like our running back hit at least 2 or 3 of their coaches, knocked them down.
So just a few ticks here to go. That's going to bring up 4th down now. Call it about 16 yards. One last play. Huskies not going to punt this one away. Going to try to maybe go to the end zone. No, they're just going to hand it off to Sullivan as we hear time expire. And with that, perhaps mercifully for the Ashe County Huskies, the first half will come to a close, 48-14 Monroe.
Yeah, they really have to regroup here in the locker room, try to figure something out, see what Coach Hampton has to say to his team.
So we'll take a break as well. Your score at halftime, 2nd round of the North Carolina High School State 2AA playoffs. Monroe 48, Ashe County 14. We'll see if they can get things sorted out. Stay tuned in for 3rd quarter action on Sky Zone Sports.
When it comes to insuring your home, business, automobiles, and property, you want an agency you can depend on. Miller Insurance has been serving this region for more than 60 years and are proud to now represent Everett Cash Mutual, which specializes in insuring farm property, equipment, livestock, and more. Before you renew your insurance policies, give us a call at 336-246-7151 or come see us in downtown West Jefferson. Miller Insurance is proud to be your hometown insurance agency that supports our hometown teams.
And welcome back into Ashe County High School under the bright lights at Husky Stadium for some more playoff football, second round of the 2AA Western playoffs. From Ashe County High School, the third-seeded Huskies in a hole to say the least against the sixth-seed Monroe Redhawks, 48-14 after one half of football. And I tell you what, Nate, it's not been pretty out there for the Ashe County Huskies, unfortunately, with the great season they've had. It certainly does not take away from what they've done prior to this game.
Oh, absolutely. It's just a different brand of football off the mountain. And for some Ashe fans, they really don't get to experience that. But for a lot of us that follow the sport, you knew Monroe was going to be a big-time obstacle. Just so many athletes across that field. And they also have the depth to do what Coach Hampton likes to do, kind of split it up, have a offensive, defensive side of the ball. Monroe's got almost 50 players listed on their roster, so a lot of depth, a lot of speed, and it's just been too much for Ashe to overcome so far.
And Monroe, that high-powered offensive machine, will be taking the field first as they won the opening coin toss and deferred to the second half. We'll see what the Huskies choose to do, maybe a bit of trickery on this kickoff attempt. Got to try to do something here if you're Ashe County. Low line drive kick, but fouled on at the 35-yard line, just across it actually. As Chase Byram got his hands on that one. And we'll see this Red Hawk offense come onto the field to start off this second half.
See if they brought any second-string players in here tonight. Might want to avoid some injuries. Already heard of a couple of key injuries in playoff games tonight. One for Lincoln's starting quarterback went down. Unfortunately, they're up big, but lost him with a big lead. So Monroe may do the same here, may leave their starters in, risk some injury, but we'll see what their coaching staff wants to do.
Looks like the starter's not going anywhere. Wall out there slinging off its back foot. Pass is caught. Boy, what a hit laid down on him, but he hung onto it and pops right back up. My goodness, I don't know how you get up from a hit like that.
Yeah, big-time hit there. That looked like Evan Owen just all over the field. Big hit, as you said, but great job hanging on to that football. Starter's definitely not going anywhere, and they're just firing the pigskin down the field. Up 34, but let's just keep chucking the ball.
Also combining it on that, kind of undercutting him there was Tristan Jones. Good to see the sophomore back into the ball game after exiting in the first half with an injury. Nice to see him back on the field playing through the pain. Now they're going to go to the ground game. Here is Byram, no, excuse me. That's actually Black, still spinning around, and will finally be stood up, but not before he takes it across midfield and into Ashe County territory. Sam Hudler coming up making a nice play.
Saw Josh Hamilton and Sean Baker in there as well.
This will give them another first down as they reset the chains on the Husky 48-yard line, we'll call it. 1st and 10 for Monroe. Where this offensive machine has been on display in full force here tonight. You talked about a lot of people may not be able to see, off the mountain football. We're getting a front row view of it here tonight.
We are. Monroe, great season last year and hoping to surprise some people this year as a 6th seed.
Now back to the action, slips a bit, and now we'll see Walke on himself to the near side. He's going to be tripped up and falls out of bounds. Hudler making another nice play defensively with the shoestring tackle, forcing Wall out of bounds after a gain of about 7 yards.
And another area game we haven't been able to find a score of till just recently. Allegheny so far, easy pickings against West Columbus, up 30-6 at the half.
It's interesting, Nate, with the exit of Elkin, West Columbus just a 3-game winner during the regular season, really given I don't want to call it an easy path, but an easier path to get to at least the 3rd round of the state playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like Thomas Jefferson Academy will be up next. They're up 28-0 on Pine Lake Prep.
Don't go anywhere. Here's back to the action. See ya. Off to the races, 10-5. Oh, no, tripped up inside the 5-yard line. Nice tackle that time. We see closing the gap. Evan Owen thought it was going to be a touchdown that time by McKinley Nelson, but he's down at about the 1 or 2 yard line.
Yeah, looked like he was gone. Yours truly thought he was gone, but Evan Owen able to run him down.
So now down the market actually at the 3 yard line. 48-14, going to be 1st and goal for the red-hot Redhawks. They look to keep this offensive machine rolling along. So far, so good here on this first offensive possession of the second half. 1st and goal from the 3, I formation. We see them use a lot of offensive sets, really keeps the defense on their heels all night. Or paws in the Huskies' case. Here's the handoff again, and finishing off the drive, Nelson rewarded with the short touchdown carry. Give the freshman McKinley Nelson a TD here in this ball game.
And as you said, a freshman, whole lot of time here left with the Redhawks. And at this point, Ash just go out there and keep playing hard. But this game is definitely in the books. Monroe just looking unstoppable.
So we see they're just over 2 minutes in to this second half, and another touchdown now, 54-14, pending the extra point attempt, which will most likely be a 2-point attempt. And indeed, they will line up for the 2-point conversion as we see Wall under center. Barking out orders there to the players lined up toward the far sideline. Here's the toss sweep to the outside, dancing around, cutting it back to the middle, and gonna be stopped short of the goal line. So the 2-point conversion is no good, but regardless, Monroe has tacked on 6 more as they are in full control here, up by 40, 54-14. We'll be back with more Friday night football action on Sky Zone Sports right after this.
When it comes to insuring your home, business, automobiles, and property, you want an agency you can depend on. Miller Insurance has been serving this region for more than 60 years and are proud to now represent Everett Cash Mutual, which specializes in insuring farm property, equipment, livestock, and more. Before you renew your insurance policies, give us a call at 336-246-7151 or come see us in downtown West Jefferson. Miller Insurance is proud to be your hometown insurance agency that supports our hometown teams.
Welcome back into Husky Stadium, West Jefferson, North Carolina. Not as cool as it was last week. Last check on the game time, 32 degrees, but Monroe, they are red hot here tonight, 54-14. They lead the Ashe County Huskies, dominating display so far from this squad, both offensively and defensively here in the second round of the state playoffs.
Yeah, we'll be interested to see what Monroe's got laying ahead of them. Just an impressive performance tonight. As you see Hunter Barnes here coming up the sidelines, nice kick return. But Monroe will have to gear up, maybe on the road next week again, but this kind of speed and talent may not matter.
Traquan Price in on the tackle to bring down Hunter Barnes. Best return we've seen from the senior running back, and also doing the kick return duties here tonight with injuries to number 80, Jacob Blevins, one of the leading receivers for the Huskies. Also sophomore standout Colin Ellis, another top receiver and running back for this squad. Those injuries may not have played a part in who won this game, Nate, but it certainly does play a factor in how this Husky offense works, and we've seen it here tonight.
Oh yeah, when you want to try to beat a team like Monroe, you got to have all your best players available. And Huskies definitely did not have that luxury tonight.
And Bowers sacked yet again. Ball comes out after the play. Who falls down on it? And it looks like Ashe County has recovered the football. That time is number 56, Austin Blevins, making a nice play there, diving on the loose ball, getting his Husky paws on that one.
Second down now coming up for Ashe.
So a big loss there for the Huskies. Takes them back to their own 30-yard line. Brings up second down and long. Bowers in the gun, 4 wide set, trips to the far side of the field. Sullivan joining him in the backfield. He will get the carry. Wide open, room to run. He's out across. Oh no, going to be tripped up. And a nice shoestring tackle that time by Melvin Bonilla.
Another quick score to pass along. Starmount up 27-8 on Bessemer City. End of 3, looks like they're going to cruise on into the third round.
So the Rams making another nice playoff push to keep their season alive. Ashe County, it'll be difficult to say the least for the Huskies to do the same. Going to be third down and 8 to go after that pickup by Sullivan on the ground. On their own 39-yard line, another shotgun set. Bowers feeling the heat, pockets collapsing, just has to throw across the middle and ultimately will fall harmlessly to the ground. That time tipped up into the air, making a nice play there. I believe that was number 21, Jaquise Allsbrooks, senior defensive end, a defensive tackle. Splits time at both of those positions, also lines up at tight end on offense for this Red Hawks offense. That's going to bring up 4th down and 8 in another punting situation for Mason McNeil. He's been a busy guy tonight there, kicking the ball for the Huskies. Backed up at his own 27-yard line. Huskies have had some trouble here getting the snaps back to him. Every one it seems to bounce. But we saw last week his acrobatic work. What he can do this time, bit of a high snap, fields it cleanly, gets off a good kick, gonna be fielded at the 25-yard line, finding some room on this near side, bouncing it to the sideline, and still on his feet. And finally going to be spun around and forced out of bounds, getting first hands on him there by Bradley Lucas. That was almost very dangerous return there by Donovan Black.
Needless to say, just some tremendous athleticism right there, tight ropes the sideline, and sets up Monroe with great field position. Like it really matters the way their offense has been working, but deep into Ashe territory.
40-point spreads where we are right now. Monroe 54, Ashe County 14. And Monroe going to take over in great field position once again on the Huskies side of the field at the 43-yard line. 1st down and 10 to begin this offensive series. They've been successful on every offensive drive in tonight's ball game, and also been a couple defensive scores by this squad as well, 2 pick sixes. And here trying to break away and ultimately going to be forced to the ground after a pickup of about 8.
Number 33, Nelson on the
As we see McKinley Nelson getting the carry again. We are seeing a few guys on the second unit for this Red Hawks team onto the field and still having very similar results.
Quick score to pass along. Avery just will not go away, battling back, trail Swain 24-14, and driving with tying score on the line.
We'll do our best to keep the scores coming your way here on tonight's coverage. Second round state playoffs. This one, hate to call them early in the game, but pretty much foregone conclusion right now as McKinley Nelson picks up another 1st down. Moves the chains down to the Ashe County 32-yard line. 54-14. The Hawks have taken flight tonight and grounded the air raid offense of the Huskies with the exception of a couple of plays. A couple of nice connections with junior wideout Mason McNeil. What an impressive year he's had, record-setting for the Ashe County Huskies along with Connor Bowers, the QB. Over 1,000 yards for McNeil. He's only added to that tonight. We talked about a great game he had last week. 12 catches. Wish he could have gotten one more yard, Nate. Had 199 receiving yards.
It would have been nice to have a 200-yard game, but I tell you, him and Bowers just carried this team last week. Just a tremendous game.
And refusing to quit playing hard in this ball game, that Husky defensive front stepping up that time. Big number 52, they call him little. He's not too little, though. Sean Baker, 5'9", 205, first contact there.
Another score to pass along. Franklin up big on West Oaks, 28-0. So looks like Monroe will be headed to Franklin next Friday night.
That should be a heavyweight matchup at Franklin High School next week.
2 seed versus 3 seed, just how the bracket is supposed to be. It didn't quite work out that way, but Monroe looking more like they could be a 3 seed the way they're playing tonight. It's a tremendous team.
Almost midway through this 3rd period. All Monroe here tonight, as you mentioned, well on their way to a 3rd round matchup with Franklin. And bottled up again, another nice play by that Husky defensive line. And on there, Jason Baker, also Tristan Jones, and Sean Baker. It's going to bring up 3rd down, about 6 to go. Ball on the Ashe County 27-yard line. Ashe trying to get a big defensive stop. They did force one stop, a turnover on downs. Correction. What I said there just a minute ago, the Monroe scored on every possession, all but 1 so far. Huskies looking to make it all but 2 with another nice defensive stand here. 3rd down and 6. Stefania Wall ends up keeping it himself, dancing it out of trouble, taking it to the near side, dives ahead, and getting close to that 1st down marker as he's down to at the 21, 22-yard line, maybe just shy.
Wall holds on to the ball, brings it near the first down marker. But it will be a 4th down.
So they're going to call it 4th down.
About a yard to go.
And about a yard shy of the first. And Monroe will certainly keep that offense on the field on 4th and short on the Ashe County 21-yard line. Maybe half a yard to go here for the first. Gets the handoff to Nelson and move those chains once again. The big freshman making his presence felt here and known in this second half.
Looking to follow in the footsteps of the upperclassman, just hits the hole hard, picks up the yards needed.
Move those sticks for another first down and put them in red zone territory yet again. All spotted at the 17-yard line of the Ashe County Huskies. So many guys on this Monroe team to look out for. We talked about it earlier in tonight's ball game. Zephania Wall, the QB, over 1,000 passing yards, over 500 on the ground. Combined total of 21 touchdowns coming into this ball game. Excuse me, 23. He's added to that one here tonight.
Black on the carry, stop by number 33, Brandon Blevins.
Brandon Blevins coming up, making a nice tackle on the ball carrier that time.
Coming up for Monroe.
Tyler, how about all the underclassmen they have that are such big players? You're looking at McManus, Wall, and this freshman kid at running back. They've got certainly a bright future. They're loaded this year, and the way this roster looks, they've got several key players as underclassmen, and they'll just keep getting better.
Around the 3-minute mark now. 2nd down and 2. Hand off again up the middle. No, Wall keeps it himself, dances around, and cannot squirm his way out of trouble this time. Bradley Lucas combining with Tristan Jones to make a nice stop on defense that time for the Huskies.
3rd down now coming up for Monroe.
Bring up a 3rd down and short, and also talk about another guy, non-senior on this roster, number 13. Haven't called his name a lot tonight, Jalen Nixon. He actually has, although he only has 13 catches this year, over 200 yards, 5 touchdown receptions this year, so he's definitely a guy they target in red zone territory.
Yeah, absolutely. Another underclassman and on our roster also listed as a quarterback as well, so certainly a dual threat type of guy, tremendous athlete. This whole roster is just full of them, and they've been on full display tonight.
3rd down and short, I formation. Wall hands it off and wrapped up. No, still squirming his way forward and down inside the 5-yard line. Well, you talk about a quick burst of speed that time out of the gates.
Big time right there. Just this coaching staff really must preach hitting the hole hard and just getting what yards you can. Just powering through there, just taking what the defense will give you.
And that was Donovan Black, the senior. Takes it down all the way to the 4-yard line. He's the 3rd leading rusher on this team, 6 touchdown carries, also 2 touchdown grabs, and now he has them in business again here at 1st and goal. Monroe just pounding it down the throats of the Ashe County defense on this drive. Looking to cap it off, and now refusing to let this one go, though, is that defensive front. Bradley Lucas making another great play. Joining him there is Jacob Sawyer.
Bradley Lucas, number 69, Jacob Sawyer.
A couple of key seniors there that will be missed on this defense next season. They definitely want to go out of here proud as they can, keep playing hard here for Coach Hampton.
Loss of about a yard that time. They'll bring up 2nd goal. 2nd and goal now from the 5. Ticking away here late in this 3rd period, 54-14. We've seen Monroe slow up a little bit with the pace of their offense. Can attack on 6 more on this drive. High formation, Wall hands it off. Nelson fighting forward, looking for the goal line, not going to get there, going to be stuffed short once again. A pack of Husky defenders. As Black was bottled up after a pickup of a couple. Brandon Blevins, Bradley Lucas in on that play once again. Now just inside of a minute and a half now in the 3rd quarter. Down to the 2-yard line where it's going to be 3rd and goal. You know, it's definitely 4-down territory, so a couple more shots if needed for this Monroe offense. Well, they've really controlled the possession of the time in this 3rd quarter, Nate.
Yeah, definitely something they wanted to do, make the clock run out on this ball game.
And touchdown, Black and the Red Hawks give them 6 more, and this lead just continues to grow. Now 60-14 on the game tonight, and just a big-time lead there. Monroe hits an even 60 points, and we'll be right back with more football action here on Sky Zone Sports.
When it comes to insuring your home, business, automobiles, and property, you want an agency you can depend on. Miller Insurance has been serving this region for more than 60 years and are proud to now represent Everett Cash Mutual, which specializes in insuring farm property, equipment, livestock, and more. Before you renew your insurance policies, give us a call at 336-246-7151 or come see us in downtown West Jefferson. Miller Insurance is proud to be your hometown insurance agency that supports our hometown teams.
Welcome back in, and actually going to go for the extra point. Going for 1 here, Nate, an unusual sight tonight. So going for the extra point attempt, snap the hold, the kick is up, and no good. Sailed left on him, and that's why we haven't seen them go for any extra points there tonight.
Yeah, I think we understand the 2-point conversion trips there. Definitely that kick nowhere near the uprights.
So under a minute to go in this ball game, 60-14. Monroe just continues to pour it on here tonight. And Nate, with that score, that'll take us over the 42-point margin. I believe that will mean, does that still mean a continuous clock in playoff football?
As far as I know, it does. I think that's one of the reasons the continuous clock rule was invented. So many just mismatches with 1s and 16 seeds playing each other, and NCHSAA wanted to avoid teams forfeiting. Some teams were willing to do that to not risk injury or waste the money traveling, unfortunately, but they have instituted the mercy rule, and it will stand.
So on to kick this one off once again. Big number 75, Naquan Haley. 6'1", 279-pound offensive and defensive lineman. As we talked about earlier in the game, we mentioned it, not too many kickers with that kind of size, big playability, and this kick will die inside the 5, so Barnes is going to have to return this one, trying to find a same nothing doing. He is wrapped up in big-time fashion at his own 10-yard line. Just past it, they'll say, and this Ashe County team going to be faced with a long field to work with on this drive, trailing 60-14. Bowers back onto the field as the senior QB. Referee saying roll that clock. Well under a minute to go now. In this third period, Sullivan has a nice hold, but it closes quickly. Ball comes out and rolls out of bounds. Fortunately for Sullivan and the Huskies, that will remain Ashe County football. If that happens in the middle of the field, that ball's fair game. And that will be the final play of the third quarter here tonight as we see the clock hit zeros and the siren sounds. 60-14 after 3 is where we stand here at Ashe County High School. Stay tuned in for fourth quarter action on Sky Zone Sports.
When it comes to insuring your home, business, automobiles, and property, you want an agency you can depend on. Miller Insurance has been serving this region for more than 60 years and are proud to now represent Everett Cash Mutual, which specializes in insuring farm property, equipment, livestock, and more. Before you renew your insurance policies, give us a call at 336-246-7151 or come see us in downtown West Jefferson. Miller Insurance is proud to be your hometown insurance agency that supports our hometown teams.
And welcome back into Friday Night Football here on Sky Zone Sports on Sky Zone HD Channel 1. Second round of the state playoffs between the Ashe County Huskies and the 6th-seeded Monroe Redhawks. But right now, and has all night long, the Monroe Redhawks, Nate, they're looking like the much better team tonight despite being seeded 6th and Ashe County 3.
Yeah, as you said, certainly looking better tonight. Played in a much tougher conference than the Mountain Valley Conference Ashe had to play with. Not knocking the Husky schedule at all, but this Monroe team battle-tested, played several 3 and 4A schools in non-conference as well. Monroe just too fast tonight for the Huskies to handle.
Ashe County will begin the third quarter on offense as we saw Sky Sullivan have the ball stripped from him and rolled out of bounds. His final play of the third quarter. Huskies have had no success at all on the ground game. Have seen a couple of nice touchdown throws, however, for the Huskies.
Quick score to pass along. Starmount up 34-8 over
Wow.
Bessemer City halfway through the fourth. So go ahead and put them into the third round.
So congratulations to fellow member of the Mountain Valley Conference, Starmount Rams. And it looks like another one of the Mountain Valley teams, Allegheny, in very good shape to advance to the third round of the state playoffs. Not too bad. Two teams going to be advancing for the Mountain Valley Conference here in the high country.
Yeah, absolutely. Allegheny up 36-6 at the end of three. Two teams advancing as well. Certainly something Mountain Valley never really gets much respect, but this year to pair teams into the semifinals, got to be happy with that.
Sullivan back to the action here on the carry, stopped dead in the water. Loss on the play. Nate, I would be surprised if Ashe County has positive yardage at all on the ground game tonight.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's just been a tough road to hoe on pretty much all aspects of the game for Ashe, but especially running that football, no holes to run through, and that Monroe speed just closes in quickly on any Ashe County ball carrier.
Yeah, the Huskies dug themselves in a hole early in this game and never able to respond. Monroe shot him in the mouth to begin with, a quick punch with a pick six. Still have a few in the Husky faithful here tonight on to cheer the purple and silver. As we said, they've been treated to a front row view of the off the mountain football. The Redhawks have come in and stormed through Ashe County here tonight, up 60-14 in the fourth quarter. And have a stoppage here. I'm not sure exactly what this was all about, but they get everything going again. McNeil back inside his own 5, set to come on again and kick. His legs got to be getting tired here with all the work he's been having tonight. Have to keep him on an exercise bike the rest of the way. And this one's going to roll down into the 43-yard line on the Ashe County side of the field. And that is where Monroe will take over. See what the Hawks do here on this offensive possession. Already with a huge margin, 60-14. Time definitely not a factor with the continuous clock now in effect. On the 43-year line of the Huskies. We'll see if Monroe has the second or third string in by now. And we do see a change at quarterback now. Number 12, Ramad Sturdivant. He's a senior, started out the year as the quarterback for this squad, but was quickly pulled. And the reins were handed over to Zephania Wall. That play going nowhere. Bring up second down inside of 9 minutes to go in this ball game. 60-14 as we see the home of the Huskies, the Dr. Pepper scoreboard at Ashe County High School.
One quick score update. Sorry to interrupt you there. Allegheny up big. They've pounded on a couple more touchdowns in the fourth. 50-6.
Wow.
So the Trojans marching right along, and as you said, favorable matchup next week as well. Most likely Thomas Jefferson Academy will be on the road, but they played in a very weak conference this year, so Allegheny certainly has a chance there as well.
Certainly do, and as you said, the Trojans just keep on marching in their playoff drive. And there's a handoff to junior, listed as a wide receiver, Braxton Knox. And he's going to be down there inside the 40-yard line and bring up a third down and medium length situation. Road chugging right along. And actually going to have a penalty marker on the field. And that's going to go against the Blackhawks. Some early movement, false start. Back them up a few yards to the original line of scrimmage. It will be third down and 10 on the Ashe County 43-yard line. linemen, and the words of Coach Hampton earlier this week, and they looked the part of it. He said they resembled a small college team, Nate, and they certainly have fit the bill here tonight.
Oh, yeah, definitely just a mismatch tonight. But it's fun to watch good football teams come out there and play. And Monroe certainly using that speed, looking just very strong out there.
So actually, when it's all said and done, they put them back another 5 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 15 after the penalty. And off up the middle, going nowhere. Brandon Blevins, the big senior defensive tackle, making his presence known. And a big salute to these defensive front 7 here for Ashe County. They have battled hard all night, Nate.
They have. They've just had a monster offensive line in front of them. Just haven't been able to make many plays right there. As you see, a penalty decline there to keep it at 3rd and long. But yeah, nothing to be ashamed of. Just Monroe, more athletic, much bigger team. Ashe just doing what they can against them.
So after the decline penalty, 3rd down and 14, we'll call it. The Ashe County 48-yard line. Sturdivant getting the call in. And a handoff, bouncing it to the outside, has some room to work. Nice stiff arm on Hudler, and still on his feet, refusing to go down before he's tripped up, and we see another flag come onto the field. A strong run that time by Jaquavis Allen, the junior running back.
Quick score update. Got to feel bad for Avery. They were driving for the tying score. Instead, they fumbled. Swain picks it up, runs it in for a score. Those Maroon Devils up 28-14 late in the 3rd.
And there's going to be a face mask penalty. That's going to go against the Huskies. That will keep the drive alive. Just over 5 minutes remaining now in this ball game until we officially go final. But Nate, almost from about 3 minutes into the ball game, it seemed like this one was over.
Yeah, Monroe just come out with a big-time surge. Ashe never had a chance to answer back. Just one of those things that the players left from this year they will build on for next year, and hopefully don't let it bother them too much. Just Monroe, just a very strong team, very talented squad, and nothing to really hang your head about here.
Yeah, as you said about nothing to hang your hat on if you're a Husky football player or fan, because of the great season they put together. We talked about it, the first 10-win season, very impressively ran through the Mountain Valley Conference with the exception of that Star Mount game, and really showed that what they were made of in some tough contests early out-of-conference matchups. Unfortunately for the High-Brighton game was a no contest, but really showed what they could do against Watauga. Regardless of the injury to Aaron Dobbins, the Huskies battled in, and props to Kendall Richardson there with ice in the veins and kicked that game-winning field goal in a defensive battle, which we haven't seen it from a long time for the Huskies, 16-13 in that one.
Absolutely, and as you said, just so many highlights from this season. A lot of things these seniors can take away with them. Absolutely a whole lot to be proud of, and Coach Hampton will tell you, this is one of the toughest group of kids he's ever coached, and he just enjoyed the ride right along with the players.
And speaking of highlights, we here at Skyline will be putting together a compilation of the season that you can check out here officially on Sky Zone Sports and Sky Zone HD Channel 1. That'll be coming your way here in just a few short weeks after the conclusion of the football season, just in time for the Fall Sports Awards Banquet at Ashe County High School. As we saw the ball carrier there going down just inside the 5-yard line. Mark it down at the 4.5, Nate. 1st and goal. Sturdivant in I formation. Just getting some practice time in here for this second string. Oh, wrestles his way out and squirms his way across the goal line into the end zone. How in the world did he make a touchdown out of that? Wow, it looked like he sort of, I believe that's Tristan Jones, looked like he had the bull by the horns, maybe trying to get him in the full Nelson, but unable to bring him down. Sturdivant pops right back up. Thought we might see a little bit of Ric Flair there. Woo! Where's the figure 4?
Where's the eye poke?
As we see again, around the 3-minute mark now left in this ball game, another 6 points for the Monroe Redhawks, 66-14. They're actually going to go for the extra point once again. There we see big number 98, Taya Whitmore. On to kick this one. This one is up, and this one is good. So the first successful extra point attempt on their second try this game. Although we do see a flag, and that's going to be running into the kicker against the Huskies. I guess will be assessed on the kickoff. 67-14 where we stand. I believe that's a female kicker there for the Red Hawks. And Nate, no disrespect to her, she kicks like a girl.
Absolutely.
67-14 now, as we see a few here. Husky faithful sticking it through here, supporting the Huskies all the way till the bitter end. And it has been a bitter defeat here for the Huskies tonight, 67-14. Can't say a whole lot more than that. It's just been all Monroe from the get-go. A couple of plays went their way early. They made the most of it with 2 pick sixes, and they never looked back, put it on cruise control out after that.
I'll tell you, I don't want to go too far off topic here, but if you ever get a chance, go take in a state title game at one of the 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A classifications. You get to see some really special athletes. I've seen 3 or 4 over my lifetime, and it's just a whole lot of fun to see some really great athletes out there. But you know, they're still kids. It's emotional football, but it's a whole lot of fun to watch.
With the way, you know, a couple of our area teams are playing right now, maybe you have a chance to see one of our local squads play deep into the playoffs with Allegheny and Starmount, most likely going to survive, barring, you know, catastrophic collapses by them, and advancing into the 3rd round of the state playoffs, and both, you know, with matchups that they could possibly take advantage of once again. So Barnes on the return there, gets it out across the 20-yard line, stopped about the 23, and we'll see the Huskies come onto the field on offense possibly for the last time this season. Maybe getting a last glimpse at the air raid offense, which was employed by the Huskies this year. And Nate, I think that really turned a lot of heads, not only in the conference, but now hopefully getting more respect around the state of North Carolina.
Yeah, definitely. It was a big-time equalizer for us this year. Probably didn't quite have the run blocking or the experience at running back we needed, but our senior receivers and senior quarterback playing some big-time football this year, and it's been fun to watch. And a quick score to pass along. Swain up on Avery, 28-14, end of 3. That game's still close. 2 former conference rivals from back in the day, so you never know what could happen there.
It seems like Avery always runs into the buzzsaw that is Swain County, as we see an incomplete pass that time, perhaps a bit underthrown, and there is a late penalty marker going to be thrown.
Flag on the play.
Most likely going to be pass interference. Might call that. It's definitely pass interference. First down for the Huskies.
Just over a minute to go in this ball game as the clock keeps on ticking with the continuous clock in effect from the end of the 3rd quarter on through this ball game. 67-14. Ashe does have a fresh set of downs at their own 39. Dropping back, firing a swing pass here from McNeil. Some room to work. Closes quickly, though. Gets it out across the 40. Just picks up about 2 or 3 yards on that one.
Mason McNeil tripped up.
I think about 2nd down and 7 for the Huskies. 8 to make it exact. Under a minute to go in this ball game. Looking ahead here for the Huskies, Nate. I know they lose a lot along the line, and of course, quarterback Connor Bowers and one of the top receivers there, Jacob Blevins. You're also going to lose Carter Calhoun and Jacob Worley as well. But you also bring back Mason McNeil, Colin Ellis, Sky Sullivan, Tristan Jones, Joseph Louder. That's just naming a few. is what the Huskies will have in tow next year going forward.
Yeah, we do bring a lot back, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of offense Coach Hampton decides to go with. We've given Grant Thompson plenty of time at quarterback. Colin Ellis played some too. Next year will be interesting. Hopefully the Huskies find some success as much as they did this year.
And the clock does go dead. This one is final. That's all she wrote for Friday Night Football here from Ashe County High School as they close out the season now in a tough loss tonight. Monroe 67, Ashe County 14. The Huskies finished the season 10-2, but can't take away from the great season they had. Can't discount all that they accomplished throughout the season. First 10-win season in school history, the first playoff victory in 7 years, and their first ever win at Watauga High School since they combined and went to one school here in Ashe County. And Monroe, they will march on, improve to 9-4 on the season, as you can guarantee those guys are going to be looking to make another run to the state title game.
Oh, definitely, and this team's certainly capable of doing that. Get to face another big mountain team next week on the road as well, so we'll see what that game holds. And on the other side of the bracket, it looks like it's going to be East Lincoln and Lincolnton, so a pair of county rivals there getting ready to go to battle.
And that could be one that may be worth watching next Friday night, Nate.
Yeah, I'm thinking about going to that. Actually, that's some big-time football. Lots of D1 players in that game as well.
So the Huskies lose their first one at home this season. I tell you, those players out there maybe look a little disheartened. Definitely not the way you want to go out, but certainly can't hang their heads because they accomplished so much this football season. I'd like to give a big salute to all those players out there as we see Tristan Jones embracing head coach Brian Hampton. You know you don't want to go out. You never want to lose and finish the season this way. But Ashe County, so much to be proud of, as I mentioned there just a moment ago. And I'd like to just give a big salute to all those guys out there on the field, especially this senior class. They seem to be such a tight-knit group.
Yeah, Coach Hampton said all year this has been such a tough team and such a pleasant team to be around. No die inside of them. They always want to go out there and play hard. And, yeah, you hate to see it end. But they got some tremendous fan support all season long, and these guys played for each other all year long. Just a tremendous season. Back-to-back conference champs, 10-win season, a lot to be proud of.
And we know the Huskies will be looking for a three-peat next year as they will hang the banners, you said, back-to-back Mountain Valley Conference co-championships, and looking forward to bringing you more action here on Sky Zone Sports. We'd like to thank everyone for making it possible here this year for Husky football. Miller Insurance, for proud sponsors of Husky football. For once again, be sure to check them out for all of your insurance needs. Everyone who's made it possible: Corbin Richardson, Angus Lamont, Greg Jones, Robbie Farmer, and of course Nathan. It's been fun calling games with you all season long here for Husky football.
It has. I've certainly enjoyed it. Absolutely love high school football. Most high school sports, but high school football, just something about it. That's how fall's meant to be spent. Watching some good football.
Well, that's going to do it for us here on Friday Night Football on Sky Zone Sports. Thank you for tuning in again tonight and all season long here on your official source for local sports here in the High Country, Sky Zone HD Channel 1. For Nathan Ham, Corbin Richardson, Angus Lamont, Robbie Farmer, Greg Jones, I'm Tyler Ashe. Thanks for watching.